Trending closer to home, Toronto City Council has voted to rename Yonge-Dundas Square in the downtown core. It was originally named after an 18th century Scottish politician, Henry Dundas, who was active when British Parliament was debating slavery abolition. But now it will be called Sankofa Square, a name which originates from Ghana. Manisa Danabalan joins us live with more. Hi, Manisa.
Hey, Emily. While the new name is a welcome change, some say that there needs to be an exhibit or some kind of new signage to remember the old name and the reason why it was changed, and to make sure that it isn't erased from history.
The City of Toronto has finally picked a new name after 2 years of consultations, research, and discussions.
The concept of Sankofa originated in Ghana. It refers to the act of reflection on and reclaiming teachings from the past, enabling us to move forward together. It's just beautiful.
Cheryl Thompson, who was consulted by the city during the process, is happy that the city is moving away from naming things after people.
And now with this name change, we can kind of start to reclaim a different starting point when we even think of people of African descent. So that starting point is not always that we were enslaved people. Now we can start to think about our contributions and all the things that we do and have done, right? And so I think in that sense, it's very positive change.
2 Toronto subway stations, Dundas and Dundas West, will also be renamed, as well as the Jane Dundas Library, which will be called the Toronto Public Library Board. It's estimated to cost around $700,000 for the change. At the same time, the City Council also approved a motion to pause its 2021 decision to rename Dundas Street, which is estimated to cost around $12.7 million.
14,000 people signed a petition calling for Toronto to reconcile with our history of honoring Henry Dundas, perpetrator of the transatlantic slave trade.
Henry Dundas introduced a motion to stall abolition of the slave trade.
Henry Dundas is among a list of a lot of people who were benefactors of slavery, but also did what they could at the time to sort of thwart any kind of emancipation efforts, right? So that was his role. He basically is a person in Parliament, I believe, at his time, who voted against the sort of ending slavery in Canada.
The calls for change appear to date back to 2020, when George Floyd was killed by a police officer. His death sparked Black Lives Matter protests across the globe. Now, while many welcome the change, some say it's important to make sure the past is not erased.
Sometimes renaming and removing means that now we don't teach about slavery, we don't teach about where the roots of anti-Black racism actually came from, we don't teach all the I call it the messiness of history, because we renamed and we're good now, and now that's a positive, right? There's a danger in doing that kind of erasure. So I actually hope that when they remove the signs, they put them in a museum in the city, or they go into a library, and then there's context.